Welcome to Rainbow Soulstrology, a weekly podcast presented by Brighthawk and Hollis Taylor. Together, we lay out the weekly astrology in an accessible, inclusive, candid, and insightful way and what it means for you. Hollis is amazing. They're a seasoned astrologer and psychic medium. I'm a musician, artist, and storyteller. We love to make the cosmos relatable, which is why we begin by tuning in with a guided meditation, helping all of us ground and center and feel the planetary energies of the week more deeply. Then we dive into this week's astrological forecast, answer your questions, and then look at the horoscopes for all the signs for the week. Whether you're brand new to astrology or you've been following the stars for years, welcome to the conversation. Welcome to Rainbow Soulstrology. Let's get centered, take a breath, and explore what the universe has in store for us.
Didn't really have any goddamn.
What?
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. How you guys doing? This is there's two people over on YouTube and maybe some of you. Hi, Lissy. Lissy Lyrical. What a name. Okay, that's an interesting YouTube name, Lissy. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. And it's so good to have you with us. I hope you've gotten a chance to take a look at the um, video that I released yesterday on YouTube with the forecast and see that there's a lot of intense energy happening this week, particularly with Scorpio in particular. Scorpio tends to be a really intense energy anyway. So the charts and everything are on YouTube. So hopefully you've had a chance to take a look at that. I think I posted it last night. And it's an intense time. So I feel like there's probably a lot going on with a lot of us in different areas of our lives. It might depend on, where things are for you. But it's a really intense time as far as not just energetic, but maybe you might have some intense conversations. You might have some shifts that need to happen, some hard truths that you need to speak, and those can all be very difficult sometimes, especially in Scorpio. I feel like anything, Scorpio is not necessarily a difficult sign, but I'd say that it's intense. So, do you have anything in Scorpio? Do you have any planets there? Do you have any what house does it rule? What house is it in? That's going to dictate where in your chart it is. And you can easily just look for the Scorpio symbol, which kind of looks like an M, but like it has like a little, it tends to have like a little tail on it. So I was going to pull it up here just real quick. You guys see that? How it has kind of a little tail, and the tail can look different in different renditions of that symbol, but it just has that kind of little tail on it, and that's representative of the scorpion, which represents it. And there's a lot of energy going on in Scorpio, and the sun's going to move over into Scorpio Thursday, Friday, and that's going to intensify things even more. Like, we already have Mars and Mercury there. So, and if you have anything in Scorpio, I assure you, you are feeling it to some degree. So, if you're feeling a level of intensity or something's going on, sounds like, Lissy, you're feeling your Pluto and Scorpio in the 4th house. How are your parents, Lissy? How are your parents doing? And this also makes me think about your the house you grew up in or the house you live in now. That's the 4th house, right? Okay. And with Pluto there, Pluto and Scorpio, that's that's very intense. And I don't know what degree Pluto's at, but it will intensify as those planets actually cross over it. Pluto tends to, especially Mars, tends to be a little bit more exact. The sun the sun has a little bit of a bigger orb than Mars, I think. And Mercury is kind of in between the two. So it will depend on what degree it is at, Lissy. And so if you have any questions about astrology, or you want to put your chart up or anything like that, you can do that, and I'll take a look at it and try to answer your question to the best of my ability. But the sun does move into Scorpio on Thursday, so I feel like that's going to be some intense energy. Scorpio is deep, intense. It tends to deal with the underworld, the dead, the other side. And it tends to be transformational. It tends to move you into change, usually for uncomfortable reasons. So usually something's uncomfortable, so you have to change type of deal. So it's not usually like, woohoo, we're going this way. It's more like, oh, we gotta go this way. It's not usually fun. Lissy said, my dad is deceased. Mother's doing okay. Definitely an intense time as we are working on the bond we have. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So, well, it's asking you to change. Maybe there might be some hard truths spoken and you might come to a deeper understanding. So maybe just stay open to those messages would be my suggestion on that, Lissy. Especially this later this week, Thursday, Friday. And remember, I think, Lissy, you also have some Aquarius, not Aquarius, Pisces placements. Neptune is also moving back into your sign. It's going retrograde. It will go direct in another month or two, and then it will this is its last dip. Saturn and Neptune, this is their last dip back into Pisces. So I hope you're hanging in there, Lissy. All right, Bright Hawk, don't we have a couple, we have like an all-day void moon. Do you remember what day that was?
Yeah. So let's talk about the moon this week. Of course, the big headline for the moon this week is the new moon on Tuesday morning. The new moon is in Libra. This is the very end of Libra season. And of course, Libra is all about truth and justice and fairness. So a new moon is an opportunity to create new intentions, to ask for prayers and help with those intentions by using the Libra energy. So the Libra energy is absolutely a prayer for the greatest good of all. We want it to be fair. We want it to be equitable. We want it to be high integrity, high vibrating. Libras are kind of classic. They're happy when everybody around them is happy and it all feels good. Libra, because it's ruled by Venus, really enjoys the fine things in life. You know, the best quality of something. Libra likes to evaluate everything and then choose the best quality of something. So when we're setting intentions with the Libra new moon, those are some of the things we can focus on. What is it that we're trying to manifest in our lives, and how can the Libra energy help us, right? So the first void of course moon that happens this week happens right after the new moon, because you see the new moon is at 28 degrees and 21 seconds. So the very, very last couple of hours of Libra. And then there's a void of course moon on Tuesday night from 12:30 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. So good chunk of the day from right after midnight through the afternoon. Of course, this is for Boulder, Colorado, so adjust for your time. And that's Tuesday evening into Tuesday afternoon. Then the next void of course moon happens on Thursday, where it starts at 8:30 p.m. and it goes through to 4:20 in the morning the next day. So if you have a night shift, this might be one of those times when you notice, wow, it's just so much quieter and I can focus my thoughts. There's less dramatic energy. Remember, when it's a new moon, the moon is brand new and fresh, and it's at its weakest actually. So then you add on top of that a void of course moon, which is when the moon is in a transition between signs, and it's low drama, not a lot of emotional energy. At the same time, we have a grand trine in water, which means emotion. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Right. So that part is contributing to the emotional side of things, not necessarily the moon. So there's a void of course moon Thursday into Friday morning. And then on Sunday, all day, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All day Sunday, it's a good day to take a break. It's a good day to have some, what do I need for self-care? What would be the best thing I could do to take care of myself and do things for myself that my future self might thank me. Taking care of something that, later you're going to feel like, oh, I'm so glad I took care of that. That's part of what Sunday, I think Sundays, a lot of people use it as a time to regroup, regenerate, refresh, reset, acknowledge the week you've had, get ready for the week you want to have, and just be aware that you have a void of course moon all day Sunday. At the same time, you have a grand trine in water with Mars and Mercury that are still separating, but they're still together having a conversation in Scorpio. Saturn and Neptune together again in Pisces, because Neptune steps back into Pisces, its sign of its rulership, the sign it rules, on Tuesday. And then the third part of the triangle is Jupiter in Cancer, which is Jupiter in Cancer is exalted. It's very strong. And now that is going to be part of what we go into the weekend with. So with the Mars-Mercury conjunction all week, I would be very mindful. Maybe you have really great insights about the conversations that need to be had. Maybe they have to be had. But it can definitely create some really big changes, and just really think that through. I loved how Hollis in the horoscopes, and I hope you listen to the scope that's appropriate for you, emphasized a lot about non-violent communication. It's a really valuable skill set to have. There's a million videos on YouTube. It's very simple steps. It's really powerful, and it helps you respond instead of react. Take that little microsecond of, okay, what do I really want to have happen here? What am I observing? What do I want to have happen? And what do I need to ask the person that I'm dealing with? Would they be willing to do or change, or whatever it is? Being able to express yourself really clearly, really cleanly, without blame, without shaming somebody else. This is what I'm experiencing. This is what I want to be experiencing. And then how do we get there? Very, very good tool. So that's some of what's going on for the moon. And yeah, go ahead, Hollis.
Yeah, so I think focusing this week on nonviolent communication would be the most powerful thing you could do, because nonviolent communication actually, it's going to apply to pretty much everyone, because there's going to be some sort of intense thing that needs to be said, and to who and why that will vary, but pretty much there's going to be some intense conversations this week. So if you know what that intense conversation might be, if you know what feelings might be coming up for you, I would sit with them. I would look into nonviolent communication. There are even some documents out there that are just like a simple flow chart of exactly how to do it. So you can remember in a really intense moment. I would like take a screenshot of it, put it on my phone or something. But yeah, I really think that's like the most powerful thing you could take away from this week's this week's astrology is nonviolent communication, because Mercury and Scorpio are going to be next to each other. So it's going to be super intense. And then once the sun enters Scorpio, it's just going to magnify that intensity. Now, Lissy said, well, I know what days I'll be really honing in on my housework and actually to be productive. Thank you. Long void of course moon. Yeah, right. Lissy also said Pluto is involved in a lot of my transits, even Pluto being at the bottom of one of my yachts. So Pluto, when you have a lot of transits to Pluto, what I notice about people like that, Lissy, is that they come through change, usually through death and transformation. So when somebody dies, there will be lots of shifts, lots of understandings, lots of realizations. It could even be some of the most challenging things in your life will be around death. And that, but also that you will find death and transformation transformation through death, probably. It's just people that have a lot of, if you're looking at your circle chart, you'll see that there's like little lines pointing to Pluto. Pluto usually looks like a P, and it feels like those people might have more death in their life, like not like more like people dying in their life, like other people, maybe they have really intense experience around their spouse or their child or both, um, or someone else very important to them could die, and that experience in itself will be part of their transformation. So, Lissy, I would let yourself get real curious about what you have to learn from death and transformation. And then that brings me into Mystics Academy, which is now available. You can join Mystics Academy on Patreon. What ends up happening with that is that you actually, so first of all, if you're just into readings, there is a I just put a link in the comments. If you're just into readings, there's a tier that you can get where you can come to our readings party once a month. It's only $11. It's $11.11. You get to come to our seance at the end of the month. So if nothing else, it's worth that, because and you can just buy the seance. I think it's $33, but you can also subscribe for $11 a month to Mystics Academy through Patreon, and you get to come to our readings party every month. Plus, you get an insights email, and then also on top of that, you also get like $25 off of any psychic reading with me every month. You could save $25 every single month. You can get a reading with me every single month and save $25, which is a huge deal, because I just told you, if you're paying for it by the month, it's only $11, right? So you're saving huge money, plus you're getting way more for your $11. Now, there's a next tier, which, Lissy, might be more for you, because if you want to learn about connecting to the other side, I am every month doing a teaching. So everybody in the novice mystics tier, which is essentially, people wanting to open their third eye, heal their grief, understand astrology. It's $37 a month. You save $50 on a coaching package. Okay, so there's already, you're getting your money back. And then you can also attend teaching lessons I'm going to have. Like I just did one Sunday night, which was meditation study. We did the meditation about meeting your loved ones on the other side, and how to sense those, what to sense, how to interpret those feelings or sensations that you're getting, how to interpret the messages you're getting, and what's real, and how to tap into that. We will be having another divination study on the 20 it's actually the 23rd, so that's just in a few days. So like I said, the link is in the comments. You can also on YouTube on the 22nd, we'll have a premiere of my teaching video about Samhain. Every month, members only will also get a teaching video that is all about whatever the topic is, whatever the theme is. And of course, Lissy, the good news is the only thing you missed so far is just the meditation thing. Everything else you would still get, Lissy. Everything else you would still get. That's the only thing you've missed, because those are live, right? Public. They're group Zooms. I can't really take you backwards to that. But we have stuff coming up this week. We have the teaching and the practice group on the 23rd. The kids event, I do have a kids section. If you have kids, there's a family tier for if you want to learn about witchcraft alongside your child. This is perfect for ages about 3 or 4 all the way up to teenagers. We'll have a monthly document for them about whatever our theme is. So this month it's all about Samhain, which means We're going to be talking about connecting to the other side, connecting to our ancestors, divination, stuff like that. Next month, we'll probably be doing shadow work. I'll probably include some astrology next month. Um, and so each month I'll probably also include I'll always talk about astrology because I am an astrologer, but sometimes I will include teaching classes and subjects just on astrology each month. So you'll get a teaching video, you get a meditation practice, a meditation teaching with me where we do a meditation as a group and then we talk about what we got. And then we also do a teaching or a practice group where we practice some sort of divination or some sort of psychic thing. And then we'll also be doing a readings party. So if you're a novice level, you get all of those things. Plus, you get $50 off a coaching package. Plus, you get the insights email. And you even get and every month, regardless of whether you're a member or not, you'll be able to be part of the ritual. I'll be doing rituals around all of the witchcraft holidays. Bright Hawk and I will be hosting a ritual this Samhain on the 26th, which is a Sunday at 3:00 Mountain Time. So you can take a look for that. If you go to the events page of Divine Androgen, you'll find it. I think it's also on Psychic Insights event page. So please take a look at the Facebook event page. If you can't find it, just go to my website, divineandrogen.com, and you'll find it. You'll also see it posted on the Patreon. I try to spread the information as much as possible everywhere we go. Hopefully, you've already tapped into my writing about Samhain this month, which was actually, I released that last week. And then just yesterday, you should have seen a release about part 2, about how to build your ancestors altar and how to work with your ancestors. Take a look at that. That's on the Patreon. That's free. So you can find that on the Patreon, or you can find it on my website in my blog. It's part 2. And like I said, the teaching video preview will be released on the 22nd. So I hope you'll take a look at that. I think it's a sweet deal. This is something I've seen coming for a while that I've really tried to brainstorm. I do feel a call to families and children. I do feel that there are many families out there with young kids that would love to teach their kids witchcraft, but unfortunately they don't know about witchcraft. So then they're kind of like, they feel like, how the hell can I teach my kid this if I don't know? And so that's why I made it this way. So, it's optional. You don't have to, teach your kid. But if you want to, there's a family tier where you can learn right alongside with your child. This month, we're going to have like a Samhain get together, and we're going to show off our new costumes. We're going to sort of try out our costumes and talk about it. We'll also talk about why we wear costumes and why we trick or treat and things like that. And I think learning about your ancestors is a powerful tool for young people. I mean, for kids to have some sort of deeper meaning to the holiday without going into shaming religions that shame and disempower people. I think the best thing about witchcraft is that it empowers you instead of disempowers. I think it's one of the most powerful things. How about you, Bright Hawk? As a witch, did you find it more empowering? I mean, you grew up Catholic.
It's so funny to me that I really became interested in witchcraft when I moved to Massachusetts. Salem's just down the road. But really, I came at it from earth-based spirituality. That just made tons of sense to me. And I couldn't understand what the controversy was about earth-based spirituality, quite frankly. It just makes sense. And for millennia, humans have been aware of Mother Earth and, Father Sky. These are, you can use whatever terminology you want. And that's really the point of paganism. It's not based on a written code of behavior. It's meant to be a starting point of inspiration for you to own what feels true to you and your connection to Mother Earth. And like astrology, I find that when we make it personal, and how do I how does this apply to me? When we answer that, what does this mean for me? That's when it becomes meaningful, right? So that seems so obvious, and everybody that I was meeting and connecting with and starting to hang out with had a similar perspective as I did, and then started introducing me to community and spirituality. And we're doing a ceremony, do you want to join us? And, oh, well, what are you doing? And learning the holidays, and there was something that was very comforting about these traditions feeling as old as humankind. That's what it felt like to me. And that's what I'm interested in sharing, making it meaningful and personal to our grandchildren, to our friends. Not complicated. Accessible is important to me. And I think it's so telling that so many of us call ourselves recovering Catholics, right? Because it feels like you have to unlearn religion to sort of embrace your own spirituality, and that the two are not the same. We know that, right? That's pretty obvious. So, yeah, we're in the season that is very important. Most people recognize that this is the time of the thinning of the veils. This is the time we honor our ancestors. And what's fun is when we embrace many traditions, many cultural ways of doing things. I am a Latina, and I did not know jack about Dia de los Muertos until I was an adult. That seems wrong to me. But it wasn't, my mother and my grandmother definitely celebrated All Saints' Day. My mother always went to church. And there was always a thing that way. But I did not understand the power of an ofrenda, your own personal altar, and creating something that honors your dad and tells something of their story in relationship to you. Those are powerful rituals, and you do not need to be of one persuasion or another to honor and use these tools. I really definitely want to underscore that. If you don't know what your ancestors' tradition or rituals were, all the more reason you can create your own, right? And people getting too hung up on tradition, Wicca versus pagan versus, Celtic, Druid, labels around some of these. I'm like, I'm not a traditionalist. And like, do we want to be? If you go back far enough, there's a lot of cannibalism and human sacrifice and like not good things. We don't want to bring those things forward. So I'm going to say, let's get back to the practical. What does it mean for you? How do I honor Mother Earth in my own spirituality? How do I honor my ancestors in my own way? And that this is a time to do that. Mm-hmm. And I love the traditions that you're helping people understand lots of different ways to grab hold of it, Hollis. You're really good at that, from young to old.
Mm-hmm. I find that the eclectic path is one of the best ways, to really connect, because then, it's more integrated. It's just, no, Lissy's asking about the live code. No, there's no code, because this is something completely different. That's for items that you buy in the digital shop. This is a monthly subscription on Patreon, which supports my academy that I have been seeing for a long time. Because while I am aware of the traditions, and sometimes I'm aware of the details of it, and sometimes I'm not. There's things that I talk about those traditions. I will address them sometimes if they apply to our topic, but I wouldn't say that it's just about witchcraft. And that's why I didn't name the whole academy, witchcraft academy or something like that, because I feel more like a mystic, which is a person that, yeah, I engage in witchcraft, but I also engage in other mystical practices, including Buddhism and meditation. And I think that there's power in all of those things. And I do believe in shadow work. And, right now, especially as we get through Samhain and further into October, November, you guys, we're going to start be doing some shadow work here. Okay. Especially with Saturn retrograde in Pisces. This is going to bring up, what about our boundaries? Are we speaking our boundaries? Have we addressed our own boundaries? And what about our relationships with others? And all of that's coming up for us now. And I think at least visiting your own shadow work at least once a year is important. Shadow work is not something you do. Like, I think it's hilarious when people are like, I did my shadow work 5 years ago. And I'm like, okay, well, what about, okay. But I think shadow work is a constant process, actually. Maybe that's just my Scorpio rising talking there or something. I don't know. But in my opinion, it's like, shadow work is something we're doing constantly. So, this month we're doing Samhain, which is very much about connecting to your ancestors and connecting to the other side and things like that. And the teaching videos are always available on. So if you don't join till next month, let's just say, you'll have this month's video and next month's video, which probably be about shadow work. So I'm pretty sure next month we're going to do a shadow work type of thing with a mixture of astrology, as we move towards Yule, because that's what this time of year is. It's the wheel of the year. And this is some of the darkest times of the year. And for most of us, witches, spiritualists, earth religion, earth spiritual paths, most of us believe that when the year is dark, that this is the time we turn within. This is when we go within and look at our own personal shadow and try to address those things. So I haven't seen any other questions. I've seen a couple comments, and so if anyone has any questions about the astrology forecast, about Mystics Academy, or anything like that, just go ahead and put it in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up for today. And, I appreciate all of you for tuning in today and being part of this. And we're glad we could tap in and bring this forward for you and give you this opportunity to ask questions about your astrology chart. Like I said, you could post your astrology chart if you have it. You're welcome to ask any questions you like. We do this every Monday for now at 5 o'clock. I don't know how much longer we're going to do it because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of questions. So anyway, there's a video on our website, on my YouTube, on the YouTube channel, that is all about the astrology forecast. I hope that you get a hold of that. And I hope that you tap into that, and I hope that you take a minute. Oh, welcome, Lissy, to Mystics Academy. I'm so glad you joined. I think it'll be good for you, especially right now, especially with your North Node in Pisces. Whew. Talk about pointing you in the right direction. Well, I hope that helps you find your direction. That's exactly Mystics Academy is all about, tapping into all the important parts of things and the important things that we need to tap into. I will be live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So you should convert that to yours for Cosmic Wisdom. I'll be doing readings and answering questions. So if anyone else has any more questions, please catch me tomorrow night. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's astrology forecast and question and answer. Like I said, nonviolent communication this week, you guys. Nonviolent communication. Look it up, educate yourself so you're ready, because it'll probably come up, probably Thursday. Okay. All right, maybe Wednesday. Could be kind of all week. Could be kind of brewing for the week for you, depending on if you have any placements in Scorpio. Okay.
Yeah, especially if you're a water sign, that grand trine. Grand trines, remember, They're blessings, and it just means things will come together quickly, easily. You might not even notice how quickly things come together. So that's what we pay attention to as we go into the week. And we wish you all the very best. Thanks so much for interacting and asking great questions and joining us. We really appreciate you. We wish you all the very, very, very best. I hope you listen to your forecasts. Oh my God. And listen to the tarot reading at the end. It will blow your socks off. Just leave you with that little teaser. We love you. Thanks so much for listening to Rainbow Soulstrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars. Have a great week.
Just a little tip. I'm going to put the link to the forecast in the comments.
Thanks so much for spending time with us this week. We hope you're feeling more connected to the cosmic energies in your life and what works for you. We send you lots of love on your journey. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps reach more people who could use some cosmic guidance. Hey, and don't forget to share this episode with anyone who might need or want to hear it. And we love hearing from you, so drop us a comment and let us know what resonated most for you, or if you'd like to hear something new next week. Your questions and feedback make us better. Want to join us live? Subscribe! Catch us on Facebook and YouTube. And that's where you can ask real-time questions and be part of the Rainbow Soulstrology community while it happens. Until next week, trust your intuition. Follow your inner wisdom. And remember, the stars are always supporting your journey. Thanks for listening to Rainbow Soulstrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars.